Rockstar Gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone in here. Appreciate everyone coming through. We're going to talk about it. Are the Carolina Panthers, are they contenders? Or are they pretenders? That's the poll question of today. That is the poll question of today. Because in all seriousness, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. The question is this team contenders or pretenders? That's the question. What's up, Popples? Rookie, what's good, man? What is good? Trying to fix something here, chat. Give me 1 second. Anthony Brown, what's good? I'm going to let some people get in. I know this live was just like a pop-up. Normally I do 8 o'clock, but I was able to go live early today. I was able to go live early today. I was able to go a little bit earlier today. So I appreciate everyone joining. Eric Blair, what's good? Anthony Brown, what's good? All right, chat. I'm going to let some people get in. Give me 1 second. As we let people get in, I'm going to play some music. And I'm going to grab some water, and I'll be right back. Actually. Be right back, chat. All right, I'm back. It didn't take me that long. All right, so appreciate you guys coming through. Here's the thing. Is this team contenders or pretenders? There's a lot of optimism in the air for sure. There's a lot of optimism in the air for sure. Everybody has the right to be optimistic. Everybody has the right to be optimistic, man. Especially right now. How this team is playing. Right? This team you have every right. We did get some news today. Got some pretty good news, actually. I'm going to pull it up about the injury report. Pull up this injury report real quick. It's all about, it has to do with Austin Corbett and Jalen Coker. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's see here. Share my screen. Time to get Robbie with it. That's funny. That is funny. We watching the NFL game tonight? We definitely will. I'll be watching it. I don't know if I'll be live doing it, my guy. Definitely don't know if I'll be doing it live, but definitely gonna watch it for sure. Could be for sure. We shall see, man. We shall see. All right. We got 2 games tonight. Yes, sir, Broski Bear. You got the Commanders versus the Bears, and then of course you got the Bills versus the Falcons. So we'll see. Pretty interesting games, honestly. All right, so here's the news that came out today. Coker is close. He's really close. He was ruled out obviously in this Sunday's game against Dallas. With that quad strain he was still dealing with since the beginning of the season. We've been waiting so long to see him back on the field, and we thought he was going to be back this week, according to reports, but it ended up, of course, he's not available. So, start the year on injury reserve. That could change very soon, right? When asked how close the team was to activating Coker before the Cowboys game, Canales did mention some things saying he's really close. He looks great, all that stuff. Coker is about 1 solid practice a week away from basically suiting up again. That's what it sounds like to me, which is massive for an offense that has been that's finally finding rhythm, of course, with Bryce Young, which can't believe I'd be saying that. We definitely could use another reliable set of hands out there. That's for sure. That's for sure. If Coker looks as sharp as Canales says he does, I expect him back on the field against the Jets. Now, Austin Corbett might return soon. Now, of course, as you can see there, he might return soon. But I'm not going to be, I'll be honest, man. Austin Corbett is not better than Cade Mays. He's not. He's been sidelined since that nasty MCL sprain in week 2 against the Cardinals. So it is officially close to getting his practice window open. No surgery, no season-ending drama with him. He's been rehabbing the hell to get back, obviously. That's great and all, but again, I'll be brutally honest with you guys. Cade Mays has stolen his damn job. I don't care what anybody says. Mays has started the last 4 games under center in Corbett's absence, and the line has looked way more cohesive. In my opinion, has looked way more cohesive since he took over. The protections have been cleaner. The run game has finally found some tractions. Hello, Rico Dowdle and Bryce Young has had enough time to go through his reads and without seeing ghosts. Mays plays like a guy who's tired of being overlooked. Nasty in the trenches, relentless through the whistle, and unafraid to maul someone in the next week. Okay? So if they line up wrong, man, Corbett's been a solid veteran presence, no doubt. But solid doesn't mean untouchable, which means that Mays is in. And this offense looks hungrier. The line looks meaner. There's a swagger there that's been missing since Corbett went down anyways. And that's not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. If we're being realistic, Corbett will probably get his reps when he's cleared, seniority and all that. But there's a damn good case for keeping Cade Mays right where he is. He's been one of the quiet MVPs of this season so far, right? I mean, I'm glad that we're getting healthier, which is great, especially coming down this stretch after the Jets. We're starting to look like a damn good football team, right? Coker coming back does give Bryce Young another weapon, some reliable hands. Corbett's return does add depth to that offensive line. But with Cade Mays balling out, that depth might turn into a position battle real quick. I mean, we are a team that is 3-3 at 500 for the first time since 2021. And we're finally trending in the right direction. And Canales has this locker room believing again. So if Mays keeps snapping like this, I got to say that Corbett's return just means a different jersey number sitting on the bench. I think that could be a rotational guy, but he's not a starter. He's just not. He's not a starter. It's a good problem to have, but let's be honest. Austin Corbett is not a starter. His knees are made out of hamburger meat between the ACLs and the MCL tears. He should have been sitting from the start because we saw all the botched snaps from the beginning. And honestly, this has been a long time coming. He should have been, again, Cade Mays should have been starting from the jump. Cade Mays should have been starting from the jump, point blank, period. Appreciate the follow, Cody. Appreciate the follow, Scotty. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. So yeah, that's some news right there, of course. Some opening windows, stuff like that with some injuries. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I really don't. Why? And if anything, the thing that's going to piss me off is if they start Austin Corbett over Cade Mays, why fix something that isn't broke? Chat. Why fix something that isn't broke, man? You know what I mean? There's no point of that. There's no point of it. So, old school Panther fam, appreciate you doing, man. Keep pounding. Domo Smith, keep Corbett on the bench. Yes, sir. Miss Douglas. If Corbett comes back as a starter, this fan base will flip out. We've won the last 3 games out of since he's been gone, right? True. Much better with Cade Mays. Yep. It's better chemistry, man. Better chemistry for sure. Eric Blair says Mays is better at center. Absolutely. Nothing feels better than to beat the Cowboys. That's for sure. Corbett needs to back up right guard. I agree, Eric. That's my mindset. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I really do. I totally agree with that. The reason why I agree with that is because he used to play right guard. And Brady Christensen right now looks great at right guard. Let him back up Brady Christensen. Let him be a backup. Let Corbett be a backup for center or right guard. Plain and simple, man. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. I've never understood some of the coaching, why our coaching staff sometimes does these things. It makes no sense to me. Again, Mays is better than Corbett. He's got better chemistry with Bryce Young. And Mays has obviously made this offensive line 10 times better than what it's been. Even with the back, you know what's crazy? People are saying now that we beat a bad Dallas team. Say what you want about beating a bad Dallas team. Say what you want. Say what you want about beating a bad Dallas team, but we beat that Dallas team with a backup right tackle, our backup right guard, and technically you could say your backup center. Technically you could say that. Cade Mays is better than Austin Corbett, so he should be the starter. As for, the right guard position, Brady Christensen just fills in just nicely. Christensen can play anywhere, man. He really can. He's so versatile like that. You can put him anywhere. So again, whatever they decide to do, I hope that it's a smart decision at the end of the day, man. I hope it's a smart decision at the end of the day. That's all I care about. I hope that we outscored the number 2 offense in the league. We did. Don't forget, with a backup running back, he's not even a backup running back anymore now. But it's true. Technically, he is the backup running back. So, a win's a win. Again, we back to back, we beat 2 bad teams, whether you want to believe that or not. Again, you beat a Dallas team that was ranked top, number 2 offense in the league. People want to say, well, you beat a bad Dallas defense. Well, you outscored the offense that was ranked number 2 in the NFL. So again, Make the case for whatever way you want to make it, but we still beat him, and a win is a win at the end of the day, no matter what. And we just jumped up. If you go look at the power rankings, we'll see what happens after tonight, obviously. Obviously that the power rankings could change, but the Carolina Panthers did jump up to 20th in the power rankings, according to some reports. So if people want to make excuses, I mean, we beat the Falcons 30-0. So like, yeah, I get it. They are making whole my slow. They are making my slow butt could run through. This is true. What up, y'all? All gas, no brakes. Keep pounding. Rico's running on 24 cylinders. Sam Smith, appreciate you joining, man. Shout out to you. SC Panthers boy, what's up? Billy in the chat on TikTok. Appreciate you coming through, my guy. Thank you. What's up, man? Keep pounding. Amazing K. Can't believe we're initially underdogs. Hey, we're initially underdogs from the Jets. That's fine, man. Throw down a nice bet on it. Throw down $100 on that plus 1.5. Why not? Why not? Offense doesn't play versus offense, dude. Laugh out loud, right? I know. Again, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Put that up there. Keep pounding, Brody. What's up, man? Appreciate you coming through over here on the TikTok. Panthers gal, what's going on? Welcome to the YouTube channel. Of course, you know you've been here. Guys, wherever you may watching, wherever you may be, whether you're on Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, make sure you drop a like, of course, drop a follow, subscribe, whatever, wherever you may be, wherever you may from. Appreciate everyone being in here and coming to hang out. So I appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Hatred comes in. No respect to Daddle's play the last 2 weeks, but the O-line is making it so easy for him to run. But respect and props to Daddle either way. I mean, Hatred, you still got to run the ball at the end of the day, man. That's not a disrespect. I mean, the offensive line's doing his job. Rico Daddle's doing his job. Everybody's doing their job at the end of the day. That doesn't matter. Everybody has a job on the field. So, again, I don't think you're being disrespectful. You're just speaking the obvious. Everybody's doing their job. That's plain and simple. And the coaches are scheming this offense up perfectly. So again, I don't think it's disrespectful. Everybody has a job to do at the end of the day, just like the coaches say. The offensive line is supposed to pass block, run block. Rico's supposed to run with the ball and gain yards and make plays. He's a playmaker. I mean, it's kind of basic knowledge. What's that? So underdogs to an 0-6 team is very disrespectful. It is. What's good, Earl? Appreciate you coming through. Mr. Ben there done that says, I told my nephew, who is a Cowboys fan, Rico's gonna destroy them yesterday. Well, at least you warned him. Obviously, you know, he wasn't buckled up either. You still have to hit the hole the offensive line is making. That's what I'm saying. Amazing, K. Well, then Rico should be fine next game then. Should be. We'll see. So shout out to everyone. Appreciate everyone in here. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to some stuff here because there's been some rumors because we'll get into the contenders or pretenders part of the show at the end. But there's been some rumors about now that Rico Daddle's had this resurgence, right? And he's had this resurgence that that maybe we should look into trading Chuba Hubbard. Now, y'all know how I feel about this. There's been rumors out there going around about it. I don't see how that's possible. I don't see how you try to. I don't see why these. Well, this is obviously fake news. The NFL drop. That's fake news. But according to reports, there's people out there that think that like this. It's time for an uncomfortable conversation. We need to trade Chuba Hubbard. Carolina Panthers should trade Chuba Hubbard for a second round pick and re-sign Rico Dowdle. Why would anybody, again, let's address the elephant in the room, and that is this whole narrative that we should trade Chuba Hubbard. And there's an article even about it that says that we should, by Sports Illustrated, that came out today. And I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm going to share this. Here it is. Makes no sense to me, chat. I'm going to say this. While coaching to bring coach planning, bring that Corbett, for down the pointless. So what good would do if Jonathan Brooks was available? Maybe you basically have double trouble in front of you. Okay, I'm going to say this. I've already said it before about the running back situation. Like what I think that they can do with both of these guys, how you can use them, all that stuff. I've already broken that down. Okay. I've already broken that down. I'm not going to break that down again. I'm not going to be a broken record on that. But what I am going to do is say this. Actually has depth at running back is what I'm saying. Rico Dowdle is playing like a man possessed, looking like prime Adrian Peterson. Chuba Hubbard, the guy who once dropped this, who basically at once dragged this broken offense on his back and then suddenly finds himself on the sideline watching someone else torch defenses the way he used to. Now, the hot topic of floating around is this right here. Whether the team should trade Chuba Hubbard. Some people are yelling, ship him out while he's still worth something. Others are saying, well, you don't throw away your best back just because a new guy is on a heater. I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to be blunt about it and maybe a little profane about this situation. Okay? Because there's an argument on both sides. Trading Chuba Hubbard right now would be a short-sighted as hell, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, honestly. The reason why I say that is because, first things first, I get it. Rico Dowdle is an absolute monster. He is. Let's acknowledge that first. Rico Dowdle didn't just fill in for Hubbard. He's been erasing defenses like he's on just some revenge tour, which he just got that out of the way. And in the past 2 weeks, he's racked up over 445 yards from scrimmage, breaking franchise records that used to belong to Christian McCaffrey. So let that sink in. The dude has been on another planet, right? Against the Dolphins, he bullied one of the fastest defenses in football for over 200 yards. Then against the Cowboys, the team that let him walk, ran for 183 yards, had 56 receiving plus a touchdown. That is not a guy that's just a next man up production. That is a whole pro level dominance. Okay. He's the kind of back right now that makes defensive coordinators start smoking again. Seriously. Daddle runs like an angry man possessed. He is violent between the tackles. He breaks tackles like he's mad at the turf. He just has enough burst to make you pay if you miss gap. So yeah, he deserves the starting job, in my opinion. Nobody, and I don't think anybody can argue that. I don't think anybody can argue that right now. Okay. So let's not pretend Chuba Hubbard, though, suddenly is just forgot how to run. I get that he's been dealing with an injury. Chuba's had one carry that, was the one carrying this offense, if I remember correctly. He was the workhorse who kept Carolina completely imploding after the Miles Sanders experiment failed spectacularly. And did we just forget about that? I mean, you're talking about a guy who earned his 4-year, $33.2 million extension because he produced over 1,100 yards, almost 1,200 yards, 171 receiving yards, and he had 11 total touchdowns last season. The guy is still has a lot of grit, has a lot of patience as a runner. He's consistent. That's not luck, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, again, I get that he's been banged up this year. Calf issues, limited snaps, nagging pain, all that's real for sure. But even when this guy is healthy, the style is different. Hubbard's not the flashiest guy in the room. He's reliable. He runs smart. He hits his marks. He doesn't fumble the ball every other carry. He's a rhythm back who needs the volume to shine. So while Rico is the human highlight reel right now, let's not act like Chuba Hubbard suddenly just turned into like Trent Richardson. Okay. And we know Dave Canales isn't dumb, right? He knows what he has. He knows what he has in both in these rooms. Carolina Panthers deep dive. I didn't pick. Okay. First off, I'm on your ass. Keep picking against my Panthers. I didn't pick against them. I picked against them on the other show, and then on my show, I picked them to win. I want to make that clear. I picked against them on the NFC South roundtable, and then I picked them to win on my channel. All right. I picked them to win on my channel. So I had a change of heart. I went and did some research. Okay. When I did a little bit more digging, and I picked us to win. All right. I have receipts too, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody keeps blaming me and calling me out. I got receipts too. I even got a PowerPoint presentations to prove that I picked them to win last week. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But shout out to the Carolina Panthers deep diver. Shout out to him. But again, back to the Chuba Hubbard thing here. Dave Canales was asked if Hubbard could reclaim the starting job when he's healthy. His response was, we're going to figure that part out. Okay. Translation here, ladies and gentlemen, he's not about to commit to anyone because he doesn't have to. And that's smart as hell. Why rush Hubbard back into the lead role when Daddle's carrying the load and carrying it damn well? Let the hot hand cook, okay? Let Hubbard get healthy. This offense finally has something resembling rhythm, and Canales isn't going to screw with that. That's just to satisfy the depth chart. But that makes no sense. He's not done with Chuba. He knows there's value in having both of these guys because in this league, one bad hit and your RB1 becomes a clipboard holder All right. Now, I'm going to say this about the trade talks. I'm just going to say this about the trade talks. I know I did, T. Thompson. I admitted to that. T. Thompson, if you listen to what I said, yes, on a separate show on the NFC South Roundtable, I did pick against us. On my show, the Friday preview and prediction, I picked us to win. So on the NFC South Roundtable, which was Tuesday of last week, I picked against us. On Friday, 3 days later, when I did my preview and prediction, I picked us to win. I have receipts too. So I had a change of heart, and I did it. And it was because I went back and did a little bit more. Is it sensible to trade Chuba Hubbard? I'm going to say sure. Is it a smart move right now? I'm going to say hell no. Now I get it. There's a logical argument for trading Hubbard, right? He's under a contract long-term. He's still just 25 years old. Would fetch a decent return from a running back needy team like the Chargers. I think another team that's a running back needy team, the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco's, they could use some extra firepower in that backfield. The Ravens also makes sense on paper. The reason why I say those three teams is the Chargers, number one, Jim Harbaugh wants to run the ball down people's throats, and their current backfield is softer than a warm croissant right now. The Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco is good, but he's been banged up. Andy Reid loves a dual threat back who can take pressure off of Mahomes. Ravens, Derrick Henry is wearing down, and they desperately need someone who could split the snaps without the offense dying on the field. So yeah, teams would call. They will call. They should call, but I wouldn't bite. And the reason why I say that is, yes, Rico Dowdle's been electric. He's still a one-year rental right now, considered a one-year rental. We'll see as obviously time goes on. But trading away Hubbard right now would be betting your entire ground game on a guy who's played well for 2 weeks, which is a little bit reckless in my opinion. Also, this is a team that has been considered in still rebuild mode. But some people are saying we're not in rebuild mode because we're 3-3. We're back to 500. We just beat the Cowboys. We just beat the Dolphins back to back. This locker room is buzzing right now. The offense finally has rhythm. I get it. T. Thompson, I'm not saying trade Hubbard. You're not listening to the words that I'm saying, my guy. I'm not saying trade Hubbard. You're not listening to the words. You just said I disagree. No reason at all to trade Hubbard. I just said that it's sensible. Yes. Right now, does it make sense? No. If it was a different time, then sure. Okay? Sure. You don't start tearing them apart because your backup got hot. That's all. That's one thing I'm going to say. You don't tear things apart just because Rico Dowdle got hot. So if the Panthers were smart, which is what I said, you ride with this duo. This doesn't have to be an either or thing. Use Dowdle as the thunder, Hubbard as the steady hand. Let them hammer defenses into submission, right? When one slows down, the other's fresh. When injuries hit, because they will hit, you've got depth. Hey, if Dowdle keeps this up, he could earn an extension. Great. You've got two legit backs under your team, under control. That's the kind of problem good teams have. You know who trades away productive running backs midseason? Desperate teams. That's what you do. Desperate teams. Panthers don't need to be desperate right now. You're not desperate. You're 3-3. If we were 0-6, this is be a different story. Jose Chill. No. He just needs to be a back rotational guy, man. I said it earlier. I talked about it earlier. He needs to just be a backup for the center or the right guard position. Cade Mays looks good. Cade Mays looks good. Austin is not that guy. He's got better chemistry with Bryce. Appreciate you joining, Jose Chill. Alec, I would take Saquon for BT. I would take Saquon and BTJ. That's just me. All right. So, again, I said it yesterday, chat. I said it yesterday about about what they need to do going forward with Hubbard and them. All right. Jose Chill, he doesn't need to be the right guard because Brady Christensen has already filled that role nicely. He's way better than Corbett. Corbett just needs to be a rotational guy. His knees are made out of hamburger meat. He's torn his ACL, MCL. He's torn his bicep. The guy is injury prone. Let's just keep him on the bench. It's just like I said though, man. Like you don't need to trade him. I mean, leadership is leadership, man. But why fix something that's not broke? The offensive line already looks good with Mays and Corbett and Christensen in there. He can be a leader on the bench. That happens all the time. So Hubbard doesn't need to be traded, man. He doesn't need to be benched forever either. What he needs and what this team finally has is competition. I get it. Rico's balling out. That's awesome. Okay. It's great. All right. Again, he looks like prime Adrian Peterson right now. Right. But Carolina's success right now is built on balance, not chaos. You trading Hubbard just because Daddle's hot would be like selling. Like if you trade Hubbard, it's like trading. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of a good analogy here. It's like selling your spare tire because your new one looks shinier. That's the way I would look at it. You trading Chuba Hubbard just because Daddle's hot would be like you selling your spare tire because your new one looks shiny. That's just dumb. That's just emotional. And eventually you're going to regret it, and we're all going to regret it. Because if this team keeps trending the way it's going with a mean run game and a composed quarterback that we've been asking for, which is what we finally have seen, this guy actually being composed enough to win football games, and a defense that's finally found a spine whose back-to-back weeks has kept a team, from putting over 100 yards on your head running the ball. We might be relevant again. We actually might be dangerous. That's something we haven't been able to say here in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's been a damn long time. Bees Knees, what's up? Appreciate you joining. And again, another thing is too, with that whole thing is, I've already said, like, this is what they need to do going forward. Because this is a good problem to have. Even when Chuba Hubbard comes back, this is a good problem to have. Because, again, the way you can rotate this running back room, again, the way I look at it is this. You make Rico Dowdle, again, I'm going to run through this one more time. You make Rico Dowdle the RB1A. RB1A. He's the tempo setter. Okay? Let him take the first series. He's earned the opening right. Okay, let him take the first series, establish the physicality in the run game, get that defense reacting early. His bruising style wears down defensive lines. It sets up Canales' play action and motion concepts perfectly with this wide zone scheme that he runs. Think of him as a hammer that starts every offensive drive with intent. Then use Chuba Hubbard as your RB1B. He's the closer, the change of pace back. On defense, once your defense is gassed because of Rico Dowdle, that's when Hubbard comes in and becomes, with his burst, becomes deadly. Rotate him in for stretches. Let him exploit the tired front seven. Use him in hurry up packages where his acceleration can create chunk plays. He's also better third down back right now, in my opinion. More trustworthy in protection. I think he's a better pass protector than Rico Dowdle. Rico's gotten better as time has gone on. But can I say that he's a better receiver in space? I would say I think they're about neck and neck. But there's no need for you to have like a 60-40 split with these guys, man. Just go with the flow. If Dowdle's heating up, feed him. If Chuba Hubbard's hitting creases, let him cook. But use each back in situations that fit their strengths, right? Again, Dowdle, I think, is the early down red zone carry guy, short yardage. Chuba Hubbard's more of the outside zone, screens, third down snaps. That kind of situational clarity gives both backs defined roles and avoids confusion and keeps your defenses guessing. It makes your offense less predictable. And another thing is it helps Bryce Young out. Again, so why would anybody want to sit here and create these rumors that we should trade Chuba Hubbard? It just makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. But again, here's the thing. You go look at the philosophy of this entire offense by Canales. It depends on balance and sequencing. The run to set up the pass to open the run. I mean, that's very simple, right? And right now, Bryce Young is at his best when Canales' when Carolina's ground game is rolling. I mean, the win over in Miami, you ran the ball 31 times. The win over Dallas yesterday, right? We ran the ball, I think, 39 times. We controlled the time of possession nearly 33 minutes against Miami. And I think it was nearly 34 minutes against, whatchamacallit. Oh, shout out to Jim Perry. Hey, heart me. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Jim Perry. That's the first time anybody's ever done that. I didn't even know I had that. I don't even know what that is. This whole TikTok thing is new to me. Keep pounding. Appreciate you, Jim Perry. But again, that's the blueprint. You take pressure off of Bryce. You keep the playbook open. You let him work off play action, those rollouts, instead of just dropping back 40 times a game. And again, with Dowdle's emergence, gives Carolina the luxury of not having to force Bryce Young to play hero ball. And then once Chuba Hubbard returns, then you got that 1-2 punch. Defense, you keep defenses honest. You open up the offense, entire middle third. And that's where Bryce Young's accuracy shines the most. You get the big picture here is you ride with the identity that we finally found. It's something that finally works, and it's going to work even more, I feel like, when Chuba Hubbard comes back, because you're going to have more physicality. You're going to have more rhythm. You're going to have a clear sense of purpose. The mistake of that type of move of trading a guy like Chuba Hubbard would be an overthinking one. Don't split the carries for the sake of fairness. Just split them for the sake of flow. If Dowdle keeps running like this, he's earned the right to be the lead horse, in my opinion. And I think Chuba should still play a big role, but this is no longer his backfield by default. This is Canales' backfield, and it's going to be built on complementary skill sets, and you're going to have a renewed sense of direction as we've seen going forward. Appreciate you guys coming through. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Rick's Redemption, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate everyone coming through. Broski Bear, appreciate you. Bee's Knees. Big Papa over here. I don't know who's in the chat over here on TikTok. Jim Perry, appreciate you. Appreciate you guys coming through. But, I mean, I don't understand why we have all these rumors that we're going to trade away already Chuba Hubbard, and why Sports Illustrated is coming out saying that why it makes sense for us to. It don't make no damn sense. It doesn't. It makes no damn sense. Why trade one of your guys again that carried that offense when your quarterback was shit in the bed, then didn't have his resurgence until he came back from being benched, and of course, you know. Sorry, somebody came through my door. But also, the Miles Sanders project didn't go well either. And you got Chuba Hubbard stepped up when needed. Chuba Hubbard stepped up when needed. So, the running back situation makes no sense, man. All right, but if you want to talk about some ideological trades, okay, if you want to talk about some interesting trades, I do think that there are some trade targets that we need to take a look at. I do think there's some trade targets we need to look at going into once the trade deadline happens, because again, if we want to continue to make this push, and then let's say, once the trade line comes around and we really want to make ourselves contenders, because that's what we're going to talk about here at the end of the show. Is this team contenders or pretenders? But there are some trade deadline targets. I think there's 4 players we could turn signs of life. Based off the cap space, Carolina has like over 41 million, I think. Actually, hold on. Let me check real quick. Let's see how much cap space we got. I think Carolina's cap space, pretty sure it's like at 41 million. Let's look. Oh, it's less than that. I thought it was more than that, because after the moves that we made, but I guess not. Right now, we're at 20.68 million in cap space, which puts us 8th in the NFL right now. Okay. But again, this is a team, chat, that suddenly looks alive because of what we've seen the past 2 weeks. We look dangerous. We look dangerous against the Cowboys. We look dangerous against Miami. I'm going to share my screen over here real quick. So PFF came out with some trade deadlines. There's 20 trade candidates ahead of this. According to PFF, there's 20 candidates ahead of the trade deadline that people could be looking at. All right. Now, I think there's only 4 candidates from this list that makes a lot of sense for the Carolina Panthers to look at. Okay? Now, again, we're a team right now that's had a comeback win against Miami the week before. You just got done punching the Dallas Cowboys in the mouth, right? This team is sitting at 3-3, 500 for the first time since 2021. I still think this team is technically in rebuild mode. Okay? I've said that this is a year, part of the rebuild mode, that you consider the progress year. And now we look like a problem because of the past 2 weeks, right? You've won the last 4 out of the you won the last 3 out of the 4 games this past week, right? Past 4 weeks. Won 3 out of the last 4. Our coach, Dave Canales, has this team playing discipline, right? Playing physical. The offense is clicking behind Rico Dowdle right now. Bryce Young looks poised with his decision-making. The defense, while scrappy, I do feel like this defense is missing a few key pieces if Carolina wants to make the leap of maybe going forward, right? If they even want to make the playoffs. Right. The reality is if we're serious about making a push to even just make the playoffs, to stay in the playoff mix, and the reason why I'm so hesitant at talking about this and making a playoff push is because we know what this team has done. One week it looks good, and then next week you're getting blown out. We got blown out by New England, but again, you've had back-to-back wins. But again, there are glaring needs. Again, CB2 is one. Linebacker depth is another. Edge help could definitely benefit. We didn't get any sacks against the Dallas Cowboys. 0 sacks. We're dead last in the league in sacks, but we're a top run defense right now. I definitely could say we definitely need a safety replacement for an inconsistent Nick Scott. Nick Scott's looked good the past 2 games, but how long is that going to last? How long is that going to last, chat? So I'm going to give you 4 players. And I'm going to start with Trey Hendrickson. I think that's a guy that Carolina could target. I think he would fit in our pass rush. Our pass rush is fine. It's not great. Again, it's just missing that one guy who ruins an offensive game plan, and Trey Hendrickson is that guy. The Bengals right now are a sinking ship. They just traded for Joe Flacco. And Hendrickson has been elite. He's rocking a 90.3 pass rushing grade right now. And he's got an overall 86.5 grade. 86.5. So he's still a one-man wrecking crew, bending off the edge like a damn alien. The Bengals are sitting at 2-4. Joe Burrow is going to be out until playoff time, probably, with his toe injury or whatever. What is it? Turf toe. Cincinnati actually might start the fire sale. Hendrickson's name will be the first one on the block. They only extended his contract for this year, and they fixed the guaranteed money on it. That's all they did to his contract. This would be a setting the tone if Carolina makes a move like this. Right now, the pass rush depends on how much Derrick Brown, collapses the pocket. Tre'von Moehrig blitzing from the deep. It's cute, but if you want to survive in December, if you make it to that point, or not December, but if you want to survive December to make it to the playoffs, you're going to need someone who can win off the edge almost every snap. Now, again, his contract is steep. His contract is pretty steep, chat. It's $29 million for the year. So the problem is again, you can manipulate the cap. We've seen teams do it constantly. Again, the cap space is the cap space. Look at the Saints, man. They manipulated the cap for years, but it did put them in a bad situation. If Carolina, if we truly believe that this team has a playoff potential, you pay for proven chaos. And Hendrickson isn't a luxury. He's the difference between a nice little run and a team actually, fearing to play us. You want to leave your mark? You get a guy like that. Bees knees, who you got? Go ahead and put that name out there. Oh, you're talking about trading away. You're talking about trading away. XL. I get it. All right. Another one on this list, I would say that Carolina needs to trade for. When you look at this PFF list, so if you go to PFF, go look for the article called 20 trade candidates ahead of the 2025 trade deadline. And this is the article I'm using. The next one I would say makes a lot of sense to me. Let me find him real quick. Is Jordan Brooks. Let's be honest. Christian Roseboom has been solid. Trevin Wallace has flashed ever since they did the transition from giving Trevin Wallace the green dot and then moving Christian Roseboom to the other side. This linebacker room has looked better. Okay? Has looked a lot better. The linebacker group does, though, still lacks, I feel like, a guy that's an every down guy, right? Field commanding presence. You bring in a guy like Jordan Brooks. What's up, Thrift Life? Appreciate you coming through. You're right. Your one jaw says he wants DJ Moore. I mean, I'm not sure if DJ Moore isn't going to be coming here, unfortunately. Brooks is exactly what this defense needs, though. Jordan Brooks is a guy that this defense needs. He's a steady, aggressive sideline to sideline linebacker who doesn't miss a lot of tackles. Okay. Literally, he's missed 2 all season. That's it. He's posting a respectable 61.1 coverage grade. He remains a top tier run defender. What is Carolina doing really good right now? Stopping the run. And the Dolphins are imploding. They're likely selling off a lot of pieces. Okay, Brooks could be had for that right mid-round pick. He fits the identity of this defense. Physical, fast, relentless. Canales has made it clear he wants mentally tough blue-collar players. Brooks is that guy. Brooks would instantly stabilize the middle of this defense and help clean up the second level chaos that's still too common. Okay. My next pick off this list when I was going through it, and shout out to, I got this actually, someone sent this to me in my Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, it is free. The link is in my bio. Okay. It's free. Come through. 0 to Hero in my Discord. Shout out to him. Anyways. But yeah. Rasul Douglas. I think he would be a great RB. I think he'd be a great CB2. And I would take him over Mike Jack right now. I would. Sorry, I'm putting my charger. I am putting my charger. I am putting my charger into my computer. Sorry. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Rasul Douglas, another guy who's on Miami right now. J.C. Horn is still the guy. J.C. Horn should be traveling with the best wide receiver of the opposing team. Why our defensive coordinator continues to let Mike Jack, with his inconsistencies, have been frustrating and predictable lately, but continues to let this guy get cooked. We've seen it. Just like with George Pickens. You need a steady, reliable CB2. And Rasul Douglas checks every box. Rasul has been good this year. Like, really good. He is sporting a 77.9 PFF grade with 3 pass breakups and has looked like the version of himself we saw in 2023. He's very smart. He's aggressive. He's physical at the line. At 30 years old, he's not a long-term fix. But that's not what this is about. This is about stability right now, right? You can't afford to get torched by a wide receiver 2s every other week if you want to survive in the NFC playoff race. Max Hayes, appreciate you joining and appreciate the follow. Jim Perry, Jim Perry, send me a DM on TikTok and I'll send it to you. All right. I'll send you the actual link. So I know the Discord links are weird. They're weird. Even if you put the updated one in there, people will be like, it's not letting me through. So, but plus Douglas brings veteran swagger, something this young secondary could use, right? And Douglas would immediately bring balance to a secondary that's been relying too much on bend but don't break. And with him and Horn locking things down, that bend might start to look a lot more like break their spirit if you don't get a guy to replace him. Mike Jack. Now, maybe I'm gonna throw a sleeper out there. There might be a solution at CB2, and that's in Corey Thornton. Corey Thornton did get cooked by Jake Ferguson, but Corey Thornton might be the solution there. Just saying, just throwing that narrative out there. You might already have your CB2 on the team. You just don't know it yet. Because we haven't seen Corey Thornton be out there enough. He hasn't gotten enough reps. I just think he needs more reps. That's just me, though. And last but not least, this one, I don't know how y'all feel. This one, I don't know how about y'all feel, but I'm going to say Jamal Adams. I know this is a weird one. I'm going to say look at bringing in Jamal Adams. He's a linebacker / hybrid, linebacker / safety hybrid type of player out of Vegas. You want versatility? You want someone who's violent? You want a guy who plays every snap like someone just insulted his mother? Jamal Adams might be your guy, right? He's not the same Pro Bowl safety he once was. But here's the thing. He doesn't have to be. The Raiders have been using him as a hybrid linebacker, and it's worked beautifully for him. He's rocking an 80.0 PFF grade, including a 78.7 coverage. That's absurd for someone who's been spending the years being roasted for his coverage ability. And get this, he's only allowed 47 yards on 70 coverage snaps this season. That's lockdown level. I mean, the Panthers could use Adams in a similar hybrid box role, rotating him with Tre'von Moehrig, using him as an insurance policy for Nick Scott, who's been, let's say, not ideal. And Adams brings leadership and physicality and versatility, and that's the 3 things that this defense thrives on with your defensive coordinator and Gerald Evero, who loves guys like that. And Jamal Adams in Carolina's scheme would be a home run, in my opinion. He's nasty. He's motivated. He has something to prove. Those are the kind of guys that change the locker room energy overnight. So, again, if we're going to continue to try to claw our way back, continue to be around that 500, be steady going forward, and you want to look like a team that's starting to believe, the offense finally has rhythm. Your defense finally has an identity, right? Now it's time for the front office to get aggressive, right? Trey Henderson gives you a pass rush minutes. Jordan Brooks gives you consistency at the linebacker position. Rasul Douglas shores up your cornerback depth. Jamal Adams gives you a tone setter in the secondary. Now, are they going to make all 4 of those moves at the trade deadline? No, but those are the 4 guys I would target. You're showing signs of life. If we're continuing to showing signs of life by the trade deadline, it's time to make you need to make teams uncomfortable to wanting to play you. So if we even land 2 of these guys, we start looking like a team that's going to be a problem even more. I'm just saying. Just giving you my 4 guys. We'll see what happens. Well, Jim Perry, I'm glad you asked that question. How do you honestly feel about the team right now? My question today, and that's obviously contenders, or are we contenders or are we pretenders right now, chat? Is this team contenders or pretenders? That's the question. I'll be honest with you. This team started out the first 2 games, it looked over for the first 2 weeks of the season. Like top 5 pick, new coach, rebuild type after those 2 games. Kind of sucked. Then you get a win, and then it was kind of back to reality. But through the first month of the season, like I said, they looked that part. Sloppy starts, no rhythm. The defense held together, right? Just a lot of wishful thinking going on. Everyone has been already out. There was people already eyeing the 2026 draft. I mean, here we are in mid-October for a team to start, staring at 3-3. They just dragged Miami to the mud, outlasted Dallas in back-to-back weeks, 2 games, 2 completely different kinds of wins. But it was a very loud message with both of those wins that this is not a team that's just going to fold and roll over. All right. So are we contenders? Are we pretenders? That's the thing. Right? The turnaround, the 2 wins, that has changed everything. A week ago, we looked like another team just trying to keep the lights on in the NFC. Then we go home. We go up against Miami, who I thought was going to be an issue if Tyreek Hill was playing, but we punched them in the mouth for 4 quarters. It wasn't some fluky upset either. They controlled the line of scrimmage. We won the time of possession. We held the Dolphins to 19 rushing yards. That's not, Dolphins had an off day. We came back. We were down 17-0 and came back and won that game. We were the better team at the end of the day. That's all that matters. We bullied them up front. That was the type of football we played. And that's when you probably thought, that's when I was thinking, was this just a fluke? But then you double down and you beat Dallas in a game that felt like a bar fight with pads. The Cowboys might be inconsistent, sure. They're still one of the NFC's most talented rosters when healthy. They are. Carolina matched every punch, every counter, every big play when it mattered most. And yes, I get it. Dallas's defense is dead last in almost every category. But their offense is also like first in almost every category. And then your quarterback leads a 15-yard play, 71-yard drive to set up the walk-off field goal. That's what real teams do. So I'm going to say this. I think Bryce Young is finally playing like a quarterback. All right. I'm going to give him his damn flowers. I've been harsh on him this year. Again, he's not lighting up the stat sheets. He's not playing. He's playing confident, efficient football. Most importantly, he's playing winning football the past 2 weeks. We got to stop trying to play. We have to stop trying to play superhero ball and started doing what Dave Canales wants. That's what he stopped doing. Right? He wanted him to be the conductor. Appreciate that, Jim Perry, for the confetti. Appreciate you. He started reading defense, taking what's there, making the right throw instead of look at me one. And against Dallas, he completed 17 of 25 passes, 199 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception, which that one wasn't even his fault. He delivered in the clutch, especially with that 4th and 6 dart to Hunter Renfrow to set up that game winner. He's not perfect, and it's not even close that he's perfect. But right now, he's the calmest guy on the field when the game's on the line. That's the kind of shit you can build around. Right? Rico Dowdle, the best revenge story in football right now. Rico didn't just play angry against his old team. He played like a man possessed, bro. He told the reporters during the week, buckle up. He then goes and drops up 239 yards, 2 touchdowns on the same Cowboys who let him walk for peanuts. That's what we call you done messed up type of energy. This is the one, like, this isn't a 1-week fluke either. Last week against Miami, over 200 scrimmage yards. This week, another 180 plus and a score. The man is cooking like it's personal every Sunday. Chuba Hubbard might have started the year as RB1, but let's be honest, Rico's earned the damn keys. He's running like every carry is his last on earth, basically. He's giving the offense a real identity. He's nasty. He's physical. He's unrelenting. And again, Carolina hasn't had a back this explosive since CMC right now. I'm not comparing Rico down to CMC, but he's been explosive. And Daddle's setting the tone for the whole team. The defense finally looks like it gives a damn, too. Like a Jiro Ebro. Defense was a mess the start of the year. Missed tackles, blown coverages, no edge pressure. It was ugly. And over the past 2 games, the group has transformed into something you can actually trust. They've given up only 50 combined rushing yards in 2 weeks. That's not a typo. Go look it up. This is a unit that has figured out how to stop the bleeding. Derek Brown has been straight up dominant in the inside. J.C. Horn's back, locking up again, because when he was on George Pickens the last game, he was seatbelt because every time Dak Prescott went to look for George Pickens when J.C. Horn was actually on him, it was check down every single time, and 3 of those check downs became tackles for loss that were huge plays by Trevin Wallace, Tre'von Moehrig, and Bobby Brown III. And Trevin Wallace looks like could end up being a future stud for all we know. The way he's playing, Christian Roseboom, the changeup. He went from a liability, now he seems reliable. But even when George Pickens did go off against us, we still managed to keep Dak and company from running away with that game. This defense doesn't care about anyone. They're starting to make you earn every damn down. That's how playoff defense starts. So Dave Canales also deserves his flowers. Am I going to give him a contract extension right now, though? That much flowers? No. Let's give him credit where credit's due, man. Dave Canales has this locker room believing. Okay? He simplified this offense. Build around what his players actually do well. Refuse to panic after an ugly start. Shout out to you, Jim Perry. Appreciate you, my guy, for sending 5 roses over here. That's the first time I've ever received a gift, I think. TikTok is wild, man. I listen, I'm new to whole TikTok. I don't know what's going on here. But shout out to Jim Perry. Appreciate you, man. But he's now simplified this offense. That's what Dave Canales has done. He's built it around what players actually do well. He has refused to panic after an ugly start, which he was coaching scared, but finally I feel like really has found the rhythm, the identity, the confidence, the aggressiveness, the creativity, right? He's running the ball like it's 1999. He's You're protecting your quarter. This offensive line is protecting his quarterback. You're leaning on the defense that's finally showing up. Canales has these guys playing connected football. It's not the sexiest thing in the world. It's not the flashiest team in the world, but it's working. If you think this locker room isn't buying in, just listen to how these players talk about each other. It's night and day from last year's disaster. And also, you've got players coming up to the coaches saying, hey, coach, run this play. Like Tedero McMillan, Bryce Young, Rico Dowdle. They're all doing that. And Dave Canales is saying, okay, but you better execute. And these guys are going out there and executing. And then it just shows the confidence of your coaches into your players to allow them to do that. So, are these guys contenders or pretenders? I'm going to say this. Right now, I'm going to say that this team is neither. And you're probably like, what the hell does that even mean? I'm going to say this. They are the dangerous middle. What does that mean? They're in this weird gray area between, I feel like this team is in that gray area between rebuilding and legit. They're not Super Bowl material yet. But let's not kid ourselves. This team is not rolling over for anyone anymore. They've gone from easy win on your schedule to, oh shit, we actually have to play the Carolina this week. That matters. When's the last time any of us could feel like that? If they can handle business against this, going up against the Jets this week, they'll be 4-3 with real momentum heading into midseason. And at that point, you're no longer pretending. You can end up saying, well, you're a contender or for something real. Relevance, pride, maybe even a wild card spot for a team that has spent the last few years as the NFL's doormat. That's one hell of a glow up. So we're not, here's the thing. The Carolina Panthers aren't back. We're not elite. They're not some fairy tale comeback story either, but they are tough as hell. They're cohesive and they're finally fun to watch again. Call them what you want. Call them contenders, spoilers, sleepers, or just a scrappy underdog you don't want to play in November. But one thing's clear, man, we have a pulse. We have an identity. And if we keep playing like this, we might just make a whole lot of people eat their words. And the mantra keep pounding is going to continue to thrive even more. Shout out to everyone on TikTok tonight. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream over here. TikTok, I'm going to log off. If you want to come over to the YouTube channel, please just come on over to the YouTube channel. I'll still be live. Appreciate you guys. Keep pounding. All right, so I keep ended the live over there on TikTok. Cool beans. Okay, so you're saying Super Bowl or bust. Got it. No, I'm not, Trap. You obviously didn't listen to what the fuck I said. I said neither. I said neither. We are neither. I just said that the Panthers aren't back. They're not elite. How the hell do you get Super Bowl out of that? The fuck? I said we are in that dangerous middle. We're in that weird gray area. Rebuilding and legit. Again, I just said they're not Super Bowl material yet. But we're not a team that's just going to roll over for anyone. That's what I said. Holy shit. Sometimes I feel like people just don't listen, man. Golly. Like, good Lord, man. No shit, Ms. Douglas. Like, good God. Well, just because they're beating the Bills doesn't mean we're Super Bowl contenders just because we beat them. Hey, it's great. That's for sure. It's great. It's great that Falcons can beat the Bills all they want. That's fine. It doesn't take anything away from our team, or doesn't give us anything better. Does that mean we might have a chance of beating the Bills? Sure. I think that this team has every chance of now beating anybody. Again, we are not. I said, so is this team contenders or pretenders? I'm going to repeat myself one last time. We are neither. We are right in the middle of the mix. We are between rebuild and legit. We are not Super Bowl ready, but we're not a team that's just going to roll over for anybody. We're not a doormat anymore. We're no longer the team that you consider easy win on your schedule. We have now become the team. Oh shit, we actually have to play Carolina this week. When's the last time that you could feel like that maybe a team looks at us on our schedule and feel that way? I want you to answer that to me in the chat. Right? When's the last time you felt like, again, Trap, that's a good point. Last half of this last season. You could say that, I think. But I meant like really, truly saying that. Really true in saying that. Because, Trap, I think if this team would have played the Eagles last year or played the Kansas City Chiefs last year, we might win those games. With this team, the way it's playing, you might win those games. This team's learning how to close games out. That's one thing we have seen, that we're closing games out. Again, if you can handle business against an 0-6 Jets next week, you're on a 3-game winning streak. You're riding huge momentum, which means then you head into mid-season, and at that point, you are no longer a pretender. And then, again, you could end up being a contender for something real. And I think I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to be a contender as in Super Bowl contender, but I'm talking about as a contender for relevance, pride, maybe a contender for a playoff spot, wild card spot, whatever. Because, again, we've been a team that has been the doormat of the NFL. We have been a team to make jokes about. And now what we have is just one hell of a glow up. Again, that we are not currently, I would say, back, because we're not elite yet. But we're tough as hell, we're cohesive, and we're just a team that I finally, as a fan, can say I love to watch. You can call them whatever you guys want, your heart desires. You can say they're contenders. You can say they're spoilers. You can say they're sleepers. You can call them the underdogs. I don't care. Again, the one thing that is clear to me is that they have a pulse, and it's a good one. I mean, Andrea, if we're if we, let's say you beat the Jets, you're 4-3. You go look at the rest of this schedule, chat. I said that that 4-game stretch was going to matter the most for this team. Did I not? To you guys. This 4-game stretch, the Patriots, the Jets, the Dolphins, and Dallas were the most important games. If you can win 3 out of the, we've 2 out of the one, we've won 2 out of the 4, lost 1. So if we win 3 out of the 4, you're 3-1, and then you're going up against the Bills. I said that. See, Eric even remembers. See, I told y'all that stretch is so important. And I told you why that stretch is so important. You beat the Jets, you're 4-3. There's issues with the Bills right now. Listen, again, I still think the Bills, even though that this Falcons team is manhandling Buffalo right now, which, by the way, let me put that on real quick. I want to see what's going on here with this game. Because if you go into this stretch now where you play the Bills, Green Bay, and then you got 49ers and the Rams in that stretch right there. I would just hate to be the masseuse who has the book Schumer, because that is one time. Yeah, I mean, Rico. So again, you're looking at that 4-game stretch, man. A Rico charge will get you 25 to life. That's too funny. Hit him with that Rico. Hit him with that Rico. That's what I was saying all stream yesterday. Again, I told y'all that 4-game stretch right here that we're looking at, or the 4-game stretch that I mentioned about against the Patriots, the Dolphins, Cowboys, and Jets. I said we're must-win games. Now, again, we lost one, we've won two. Here's the thing. You lost to the Patriots, but again, Miami, you beat them. Here's the thing. Those 4 games right there, we're 4 clear chances to stabilize the season. You take them, and then you're legitimate NFC South contenders. You drop one, okay? You only drop one, that's fine. Right? But you're building momentum. You're building momentum. Now you have. Because right now, I mean, again, we beat the brakes off the Falcons, man. But who are beating the Bills right now, but the NFC South has been weak. We've been the weakest division. That's so true, Demex. That's such a true comment right there. Woo! Woo! Such a true comment. Shout out to Demex with that one. But if we dominate that stretch between what we see now, we beat the Jets, we go 3-1. That's you dominated that stretch. You went 3-1 on this stretch that I keep talking about. And I keep saying you can compete for the division, or at least secure yourself a wild card spot. Again, I said if they stumbled, it's going to be tougher to go up against games like Buffalo, Green Bay, San Fran, and of course the LA Rams could crush any playoff aspirations. And now this team has really put their destiny in a controlled situation now that you've gone 2-1 out of the 4-game stretch so far. Now you got the Jets, you beat them. And again, you just can't self-destruct. So again, in this winning streak, all it's going to do, if you beat the Jets, it's going to continue to build confidence in your quarterback, your head coach. It's going to establish the belief in what's going on here and that we can compete in this division. We can compete in the NFC. I said that the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, and the Jets I said these 4 games, you got to think of it as a mini season. Take all 4 and you take all 4 of the Panthers on track. You only lost 1. That's fine. Because your schedule does become harder. So, again, you've done well so far. And we've gone 3-1 in this stretch, which is great. If you beat the Jets, you go 3-1, and you seriously put yourself in very good position. Very good position. And now I think we're second in the division. Even if Atlanta wins today, we're second in the division. So, again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Again, appreciate everyone been live for an hour and a half. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. All right. Appreciate you guys. We're gonna dive more into that. We'll dive more into the Jets game on Friday. We're gonna dive into some more stuff later on this week as well, either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll have another live. And then, of course, don't forget about the NFC South Roundtable tomorrow night, 8 p.m. EST. Going to be breaking down all games, right? We'll be breaking down that Atlanta and Buffalo Bills game. We'll be breaking down the Saints versus, who did the Saints play? I forgot who the Saints played. And then, of course, the Bucks and who did the Bucks just play? I forgot who the Bucks played now. Good Lord. But either way, appreciate you guys, man. Again, make sure you pound that like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate everybody's love and support. Again, feel free to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Twitch. Greatly appreciate it. And other than that, guys, I got more content coming out to you guys. Again, I just appreciate all the love and support. And I will see y'all guys on the other side. Y'all know what to do as always. Love, always love, peace, and keep pounding. I'm out. Peace.